What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I love to talk about all things Peloton, cycling, and fitness, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about my 10 top favorite rides slash ride series on Peloton. And I thought instead of just giving you a list, I would also take the rides because I like them a lot. So it'll be fun to go back and take all my favorites, and then I can kind of give you my opinions before and after and see if I forget anything about the ride after I've taken it. So I like a really large array of rides, so I think that there will be something for everyone. So today I'm going to start off my favorite ride. This is more of a ride series, is Alex Toussaint's Club Bangers rides. I think that they're just really solid rides. I know I'm going to like the music. It's all rap, R&B, club music, some pop. It's always a good time. Alex is always in a super good mood, and he kind of makes it like you're in a club, like you're warming up, and he's like, oh, you're getting out of the Uber and you're waiting in line, and then you get into the club, and then he's like, oh, you're dancing or you're getting a drink when we're recovering. And I just think that it's a super fun ride and it's a good time. He posts these really frequently. I think he does them 2 times a month, and I've taken a lot of them, but I actually found one I haven't taken yet just because I like pretty much all of them the same. So the one I'm going to do today is a 45-minute Club Bangers ride from December 19th, 2020. And yes, so a lot of rap music. The description is, lose yourself in the music with the collections of Alex's Club Bangers themed rides. With infectious playlists of club hits, this class isn't just a workout, it's a party you won't want to end. I don't know if I'd go that far that it's a party, but it's a pretty good time and I'm excited to take it. And then my second favorite ride that I'm going to take is a specific ride. It is a 5-minute cool down ride by Alldis from February 28th, 2020. I can't see how many times I've taken it on the Peloton app, but it tells you on the Peloton bike. And back in October when I was riding the Peloton bike, I had already taken it 50 times. This is my cool down ride. I pretty much take no other cool down ride. I just think that it's timed really well. I've tried some other ones, but I just don't like the pacing of it. This one starts low cadence and higher resistance, and then you lower the resistance and raise the cadence throughout the ride, and I just feel like it really cools me down. It really lets me spin out my legs. And the music is mostly Fix You by Coldplay. That takes 4 out of the 5 minutes of the song, and then Dancing in the Moonlight by Top Loader. So I like both of those songs. That helps too. And I also really like Ben. He talks about the Super Bowl and Coldplay in this, and I've heard that conversation 70 times now, but I still think that it's a really good ride and I would highly recommend it for a cool down ride. Also, I think it's impossible for me to actually rank these rides, so I'm just kind of doing 10 of my favorite in general. Because I'm doing these first doesn't mean that they're my absolute top favorite. I just think that comparing a really good cool down ride to a Club Bangers ride is even really hard to do because they exist for different purposes, so it's hard to compare. But these two are definitely in my top 10 favorite rides to do, so let's just get on in with it. As always, the Club Bangers ride was super fun, really no complaints. He did say at the beginning this is a fun first ride, which I'm pretty sure he says at the beginning of all the Club Banger rides, meaning you probably won't PR slash it's more about the music. But I find that it's still hard. It's definitely still a very good workout, and it's one of the harder classes that I take on Peloton, but I also think that he gives big enough ranges that even if you're a beginner, you could definitely still do this ride. And sometimes he does these things called freestyle, which is basically just letting you do whatever you want to do. So then that also kind of helps level the playing field between beginners and people that ride Peloton all the time. You can just go harder if you think that the workout's not hard enough, and if you think the workout's too hard, you can just go easy and relax a little bit. So I think that that is a great ride for pretty much everyone. If you like club music, I would highly recommend. And then the cool down ride, as always, very good, no complaints. I think I could actually mouth most of the words that he says now because I've just heard him so many times. But again, I just think that it's a really good cool down ride. I don't do a cool down ride every single time I ride, but I probably do it 50 to 75% of the time. I can definitely feel a difference in my legs after I do a cool down ride. They feel a lot more refreshed, and I feel better when I get on the bike the next day. So I should definitely do a cool down ride every single day. but sometimes I just don't have time or I just don't feel like it, which is not the best reason to not do it, but I try to do that ride as much as possible, and I'd recommend, even if you try this cooldown ride and don't like it, to try to find a cooldown ride that you do like. Those were my 2 favorite rides today. I'm excited to come back and do some more favorite rides tomorrow. This is a super fun video to film because I just get to do all my favorite rides. It is now Tuesday, which means I'm going to be taking 2 more rides. So 3 out of the 10 top favorite rides of mine are music rides or like artist series rides. So they focus on a certain artist, and I'm going to be doing 2 of them today. So the first one is a 30-minute Lizzo ride by Robin Arzón from August 2nd, 2019. So this is kind of an old ride, but I just really like Lizzo. I find her music super upbeat. You'll probably know a lot of the songs because she is very, very popular. And I also really like Robin, so I remember taking this and just thinking that it was such a fun ride and such good energy, so I'm excited to take it again. And then the second ride I'm taking is a 30-minute Beyoncé 2-for-1 ride by Alldis and Tunde from November 9th, 2020. I actually took this class semi-recently because I reviewed all of the Beyoncé classes when they were brought to Peloton, and I just really love this ride. The energy is super fun. I feel like Alldis and Tunde complement each other very well, like interacting with each other and then bringing that hype energy to the workout. So I'm really excited to take this one again. I think today will be a fun day. Usually artist series and music rides are a little bit easier than say like a HIIT class or Tabata class, but I know that these 2 are still pretty hard. Like Robin and Alldis and Tunde still definitely bring it. So let's just take these classes. I'm very excited to listen to some fun music. I loved both of those rides. Honestly, I knew that I liked the Lizzo ride, but it's been quite a few months since I've taken it, and I loved it even more than I remembered. The music is just so good. Lizzo is so hype. It's also funny because since it was taken in 2019, there's actually people in the studio, and it's like all women, just because I feel like Lizzo really appeals to women. And I just think it's so funny. Everybody's in such a good mood. Robin really brings it. It is just such a fun ride, and I definitely feel like I need to take it more frequently now because that just put me in such a good mood. And then the Beyoncé ride, also great. I feel like Alldis and Tunde are just so chaotic in it, but you know that they had to practice that before it even happened because it's like chaotic in a really good way where they're building off of each other's energy and everything seems so spontaneous. But I feel like it'd be so easy for it to become chaotic in a bad way, and it just doesn't, which I think also really shows like how professional they are and how good they are at their jobs. But music is also great. You can just tell like Tunde's super passionate about Beyoncé. It's always fun to see an instructor be really excited about the ride, and I feel like Alex just lets her kind of take it away and like talk about all the different things that Beyoncé has done, which is just great. I feel like the energy is so great, the vibes are great, everything is great. So both of those classes I would highly, highly recommend. If you have not taken yet, go take them. It is now Wednesday and I'm ready to get into my next favorite ride. So this is more of a ride type, although there's only 4 of them. I really, really love all of Alldis Love's 60-minute feel-good rides. They're basically just pop music from like the 2010s, and then she tells riddles during them, which I think is fun. Like, it's not a necessity, but I think it adds a little something to the class. And usually you build up and like go crazy at the end. You just do a lot of hard stuff like right at the end and then it's over. I just really like Alldis. I feel like I'm definitely her target audience, so I just enjoy taking her classes a lot, and I really like 60-minute rides. If I take a 45-minute ride, I really have no motivation to take more classes after that. And if I take a 30-minute ride, I can usually take either a 15 or a 30-minute ride afterwards. But 2 30-minute rides feels way longer than a 60-minute ride in my opinion. I'd rather just do the 60-minute ride and then be done with my workout for the day. So those 2 combined, loving Alldis, loving the music, loving the vibes, and then 60-minute rides. This is the perfect class for me. And she started coming out with them like once a month during the summer, I think. And then she just stopped and hasn't come out with any more. So there's only 4 out, but I've done all 4 and I really love them. I just went through them and picked the one with the music that I think I like the most, even though I like all of the music. The ride I'm gonna do today is the 60-minute feel-good ride by Alldis Love, July 12th, 2020. and there's some chain smokers, Lizzo, Nicki Minaj. It's going to be a really good ride and I'm very excited. It's been a while since I've taken one of these, so let's just get on in with it. I don't have a ton to say about that ride. It's pretty much exactly how I remembered it. I just really like the way that it is structured. You do like climbs, you do some speed work, the music is good, the vibes are good. I like the 60-minute length. Also with 60-minute classes, I like that there's a long warm-up. I think it was 11 minutes in this class. And sometimes I feel like with the 30-minute classes, if there's only like a 4-minute warm-up, I'm not like warmed up enough. I know I should just do a 5-minute warm-up ride before I do those rides, but it's just a pain. It's nice when everything is like streamlined together. I just really like this 60-minute feel-good ride format, and I hope that she comes out with more of them. I do know that she has ones that are not 60 minutes. I think she's come out with a couple 30-minute rides, but I really like the 60 minutes, but I've also taken the 30 minutes too. So if you want to try a feel-good ride, but you don't want to commit to the 60-minute, I'd recommend the 30-minute. Overall, really great ride, and I would highly recommend. It is a new day, which means another ride. So today's ride series type, I do have a specific ride in it, but the ride series type is HIIT in Hills. And I feel like if you've been watching this channel, you know that I just absolutely love HIIT in Hills. I went through a phase where I like really loved it. I've definitely toned it back since then, but I just really like the structures of the rides. I really like when you alternate between speed work and hills. So HIIT in Hills really works out well for me in that. I feel like sometimes rides are too climb focused for like climb rides example, or some rides just do a lot of speed work and I just can't do rides that have so much speed work in them. That's definitely my weakness, so it's like what I should do, but I like that the HIIT in Hills has both, so I can work on speed work, but I also have like the safety net of the climb. So my favorite instructor for HIIT in Hills is definitely Hannah Frankson. I like all the instructors, like I really like the ride type, but Hannah is my favorite for HIIT in Hills, and my favorite HIIT in Hills ride from her is a 45-minute HIIT in Hills ride from October 17th, 2020. And it's just a bunch of like pop and EDM music. I remember really liking this ride. It's a fun ride, and I like 45-minute length for HIIT in Hills. Nobody does an hour, and then 30 minutes I think is too short, so this is going to be a great ride. And since I know that it's just so hard, it's going to be the only ride that I do today. Also, this is somewhat of a tangent, but I've been trying to add strength classes after my workout, like pretty much every day now, where I alternate between core, arms, and legs. And I usually do it after my cardio, but I'm actually going to try to start doing it before my cardio, because after my cardio I'm so sweaty and it's like I just want to get in the shower and like rinse off. I don't want to do strength workouts and like make my yoga mat gross and then I have to like wipe it down. I don't know, it's not that big of a deal, but I wonder what you guys do. I tried Googling it to see if people had recommendations, and it seems like you should be doing strength before cardio, but all the Peloton instructors, whenever you're in the strength classes, they're like, yeah, you could tack this on after a run, after biking, like you can just do this alone. They don't really talk about doing it before cardio. So I just wanted to see what you guys thought. But yeah, I'm gonna go do a strength class and then do this HIIT in Hills ride, and then I'll be back. HIIT in Hills just hits different. It's always such a good ride. I think one of my favorite things about Hannah is that she is consistent. So the HIIT intervals were very similar every time, and she told you that at the beginning of the ride. And I find for like music rides or fun rides, I don't really care what we're doing in it. Like I don't care if it's very chaotic. But for like a HIIT in Hills ride, a ride that it's actually training to really build up strength and endurance, I want to know exactly what I'm doing at the beginning of the class so that I know how to structure it well for me. Because if it's unpredictable, then I don't know if I should like be going easier or harder, but if I know exactly what the layout of the class is, I can tailor it a lot better to my fitness. So I think that's my favorite thing about Hannah. And then I like the music. It's like EDM, pop, it's a good time, and I like her attitude. I feel like a lot of other instructors are really up in your face screaming at you, and she's kind of more laid back. I think that's true for a lot of the London instructors, but yeah, I like her personality a lot, so that was a good ride. I also think I like doing strength before cardio now, although I'm gonna have to test it out and see what I feel like, but I liked kind of getting it out of the way and then hopping on the bike and riding, so I guess I'll keep trying to do that and see if my opinion changes. It is now Friday. I'm so excited for the weekend, but before we get there, one more ride. So today I'm going to be doing a ride that I actually have done super recently. I found this ride when I was doing the hardest ride from each instructor video, and it is Matt Wilpers' ride, a 45-minute climb ride from March 6th, 2020. This is definitely something I would not gravitate towards naturally. I feel like I don't really take a lot of climb rides. I was really into them like right when I got into the Peloton, but since then I found other rides that I like more. But this ride, don't want to be dramatic, might be my favorite ride of all time. It's definitely hard to compare it to like music rides because those are so fun, but this ride just builds so well that at the end of the ride, you're just getting insane output and it doesn't even feel that hard because he has built it so well. Like I remember last time I was literally hitting like 300 to 400 output consistently, which is usually like my biggest pushes is like a little over 300 and I can't maintain that for any sort of amount of time. But in this ride, I was maintaining it for like minutes, which is just absolutely crazy. And I feel like a good ride where you're just achieving so much output makes me feel so good, and that like makes me so happy. So then I really like this ride. The music is also good. It's pop and alternative music, which is probably my favorite kind of music. So overall, I'm very excited to take this ride again and just really get a good grind in today. So let's just get on in with it. That was such an intense ride, but it was a really good one. It was exactly how I remembered it because I only took it like a month ago, but very good building, lots of output at the end. I did forget every time there was like an interval, so basically the majority of the ride was like 60 to 90 seconds of like 40 to 55 at a slower pace. He said like 60 to 90 cadence, but I like go 60. I can't grind out at like a 90 cadence. But you would be at that slower pace, and then for 15 seconds you would really ramp up the resistance and get out of the saddle. And when we were out of the saddle, every time he's like, punch it, punch it, punch it, which I forgot that he said that. It's kind of a weird thing to say, and I've never heard him say it before, but I thought that that was funny. And then once I noticed it, he literally said it like every single interval. So I don't know why he said that. I guess he was just in the mood for that today because I've taken other classes with him and I've never heard him say that. But I think that this was a really great ride, and I would highly recommend it if you're good at climbing and you want to PR. I feel like you would definitely PR on this ride because there's basically no recovery. You just keep grinding up this hill the entire ride. But it was a really great ride, definitely one of my favorites, and I would highly recommend it. It is now Saturday, which is the weekend, so very exciting. I have a little bit more time to work out today, so I'm just going to knock out my last 3 favorite rides, just because all of these are pretty short, so I think I can work them into one workout. So the first one is the 30-minute Lady Gaga ride by Cody Rigsby from January 16th, 2020. Love Cody, love Lady Gaga. I feel like Lady Gaga is so popular that you know every single one of their songs if you listen to any kind of pop music. I just love rides where I know all the music. But I know that this is a super fun ride, excited to take it again. I know it's been a while since I took it last, but I remember really liking it when I did take it. After that, my next favorite ride is more of a ride series, and they are 15-minute Tabata rides. Hear me out. I know they don't sound that fun, but they're only 15 minutes. They're a really good workout, and I really love tacking them on after like a 30-minute ride and I want to ride a little bit more. This like really pushes you, but at the end of the day, it's only 15 minutes, and there's usually like 3 minutes of warm up and then 1 minute cool down. So you're only doing like 10 minutes of work, and yes, those 10 minutes will be really hard, but then you feel so good afterwards because you're like, I did a Tabata ride today, even though it was only 15 minutes. minutes. So I really like the Tabata rides from Robin and Allie. I'm just going to take the 15-minute Tabata ride by Robin Arzón from July 7th, 2020, because I like the music. There's Kanye West, there's Linkin Park. It's going to be a good time. But they release these pretty frequently, probably like 1 to 2 times a month. So I just usually scroll through and bookmark the classes that I like the music for, and then I'll just tack them on when I have some extra time. But I really do enjoy Tabata for the workout experience. Obviously, I'm not gonna have as much fun in this as the Lady Gaga ride, but I feel like the Lady Gaga ride is like when I want a super fun ride, and then the Tabata is like when I actually really want to work. And then I'm going to finish the workout with the 20-minute low impact ride by Hannah Frankson, specifically from May 5th, 2020. I used to take a decent amount of low impact rides because when I was riding 7 days a week, you basically have to take low impact rides because you're overexerting your body. Now I definitely don't take them as much because I just take rest days, which is what you're supposed to do. But every once in a while, I just like to take a low impact ride, whether it be alone or after a harder ride, because I just feel like it really cools you down, like lets you kind of stretch out everything. And I really, really like this ride specifically. I find Hannah super calming, so it's a good combination with the low impact ride. And then I just like the way that the class is structured. Like you basically build up and do a little bit of resistance, and then you do a little bit of speed work, but it's nothing too intense. I think the cutoff for low impact is you will never have resistance over 50, and you'll never be out of the saddle, I think, and your cadence will never be over 100. So these are all just like good low impact. Like it's not a super hard ride, but with 20 minutes, you're still getting a workout, and it's just kind of good to like relax and like spin out your body, because sometimes I feel like I get on the bike, do a super intense ride, even with a 5-minute cooldown ride, and then I'm just off it. I like the low impact ride to kind of cycle it out and feel good. And now that I found this one low impact ride that I really love, I pretty much just take this one, but I probably take it a couple times a month. It's a good ride, I like it. So with that, let's just get on into these last 3 favorite rides. I really enjoyed those rides, and I would recommend that stack completely, with the caveat that the Tabata ride is super, super hard. So Cody's ride, fantastic. Love Lady Gaga. Music was great. I definitely stayed at the upper ends of his intervals, but I'm fine with that. Like I know what to expect. Usually when I take a Cody ride, I'm more on the upper end, and it was still a very hard ride if I stayed on the upper end. So it was enjoyable. The music was great, great workout. Then the Tabata ride starts, and I definitely don't recommend doing 15-minute Tabata rides just alone, actually, because the warm-up is so short. Unless if you do a warm-up ride before the Tabata ride, there's like a 3-minute warm-up, and then we just got into 12 minutes of Tabata, and that was very hard. She did give warning that she's like 4 minutes should be like a 6 out of 10 for you, 4 minutes should be like a 7 out of 10, and 4 minutes should be an 8 out of 10 for effort. But I think I went a little too hard out of the gate because I was like dying at the end. But then also the 8 out of 10 efforts were like 60 resistance and 80 cadence, which is very, very hard. But I was not hitting that, but I was like kind of close. I was hitting like 70 cadence and like 58 resistance. So I wasn't that far off that it was super demotivating, but I was not hitting the intervals. But the music was so good, and it was just so hype, and it felt good to like get in such a good workout knowing that it will be over soon. Like I feel like I can commit to a 15-minute Tabata ride because I know that it'll only be 15 minutes and it won't kill me, but like a 30 or 45-minute Tabata ride is just so intimidating that I just can't get into them. And then after the Tabata ride, I was dying, but I took a low impact ride then, so it was a really, really nice recovery. I feel like Hannah is just so soothing. And then there are pushes, but the pushes are like way easier than obviously a normal class. So I would definitely recommend low impact rides if you're feeling sore that day, but you still want to cycle, or if you're just a beginner and you kind of want to get into something that's a little bit easier. Low impact rides are definitely the way to go, and I feel like they're just really great to cycle out. And now I feel really good that I did super hard rides at the beginning. but then I had like a really nice recovery. So overall, it was a really great stack. And if you're looking for like a hard ride with recovery, I would recommend these 3 classes in the row. It was a lot of fun. So those were my top 10 favorite rides. I know it was a little all over the place, but I feel like I like a lot of different classes that Peloton has to offer. So let me know if you try any of these classes, and as always, recommend me more classes to take. You guys recommended me a ton on the last video, so I'll definitely be trying those and making another video. I think it's super fun when I take classes that you guys recommend. Also, I just hit 1,000 subscribers like yesterday, so I just want to say thank you so much for subscribing. This is so exciting. It's crazy that last year at this time I wasn't even riding the Peloton yet. I had a YouTube account, but I wasn't posting on it normally at all, and it's just crazy how things change in a year. So I'm excited to keep making Peloton content. I find it really motivating on myself that if I'm like, I'm making a video, I need to work out, and it seems like it motivates you guys too. So I'm happy to be making this content, and I'm glad that you guys are supporting me. And it's also crazy to me that 1,000 people are interested in my Peloton workouts, but I think that it shows just how strong the Peloton community is. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys are staying safe, having an awesome week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!